In this video tutorial, we are going through the MAXQ1061 setting up of the SDK on the Raspberry Pi. In order to continue, you need to have the hardware already set up, plugged in and powered up. You need at least a mouse, a keyboard, and a display monitor is connected to it, and the SD card already loaded with the Raspberry Pi image. We basically plug in or reset the Raspberry Pi, and here's the initial screen of the Raspberry Pi. First thing that it needs to be done is to enable the communication interfaces of the Raspberry Pi. By that I mean SPI and I2C. So in order to do that, you have to go to the application menu and click on the application and go to the preferences and go to the Pi configuration. In the interfaces, you have to make sure that the SPI is enabled and also I2C is enabled as well. So once you do that, you say OK. You need to do a reset in order to these settings to take effect, and we are waiting for this to reset. It's going through the boot sequence, and all the interfaces are now enabled. We need to install some tools before we can proceed, and we do that through terminal. So what we need to do is that we use the sudo apt-get install. That's a Linux command, and what we need to install is build essentials, also CMake, which we require for the TLS, and wiring Pi for the GPIO interface, and FileZilla. Let me just move this up here and make the screen bigger so you can see that. So again, this would install the build essential for building the software. CMake is for the TLS, wiring Pi is for the GPIO interfaces, and FileZilla is the place that we can use to grab packages and stuff like that from the Maxim's SFTP site. So once we execute this, it will go to the repositories and start getting the packages and install them. Also, we have to make sure that the wireless is enabled, because if the wireless is not enabled, this command will not work. So now it goes through the process of downloading the packages. It asks if you can continue, say yes, and you'll go through that, and it will take some time. I will cut, and once we are back, we have all the packages already installed. So now that everything is installed, we will go through that and open the FileZilla. Then usually you would be able to load that through the menu. So it's through the internet and then the FileZilla. So it opens up. Welcome screen, you just type OK, and you have a piece of paper in the MAXQ1061 box which has the address for the host, a username, and a password. So make sure that you enter them correctly, and by the way, this is all case sensitive, so make sure that everything matches the piece of paper that's available in the box. And password and port is 71080, and it's a quick connect. It asks you for remembering this. I guess you have to toggle back and forth once. So yeah, you want to remember that, because this is important if you want to get more packages in the future from Maxim. So once it's connected to the repository or the SFTP site, let me just move this up so you can see better the packages or the files that are in the Maxim FTP sites. As you can see, at the time of the recording, the SDK 5.1 was the latest that's available. You may see something else, maybe later packages. There are other older SDK packages as well, and there are two images that are built in the past and we do not support them anymore. So those, you can ignore them at this point. But the obvious thing is that you want to get the latest one, and I'm picking the desktop to download that, and just you hit download, basically right click on that archive and say download, and it will start downloading the packages through the SFTP site. And again, it will take some time, so I'll cut. I'll come back when it's done. Okay, now it's done. So you will see that so this is the SDK that's downloaded. You just need to right click on that and say extract here, and it will extract the directory up here. I'll just bring it down so you can actually see that. Now let's explore what is inside this directory. So let's open this up. So once we open this directory, you see that there are directories and files. So we are interested in the MAXQ1060 or 10.6x toolbox, and then on the bin directory, we just right click on that and we say open in terminal. Let me minimize the window, and then we want to go actually into the Raspberry subdirectory as well. So now let's do the CD Raspberry, and then we are in the Raspberry. Let me open this window again, and if I do a list, you will see these are the tools that MAXQ1061 will support with the SDK. And just for the purpose of this video, we are testing the MAXQ1061 ping command, which basically host sends some numbers to the 1061, and 1061 will reply back the same with the same numbers. And as you can see, the ping was successful as long as you see the 550000 that's coming from MAXQ to host. That basically means that there hasn't been any error during the execution. Also, you can see that the string that is sent to the MAXQ 1061 was 00010203, and that's the same string that was coming back to the host. So basically means that a complete loop has been done and the communication has been successful. So we go through more of these tools in the next videos.